So we're very, very happy and excited to be here with all the nice Juhu devotees this evening. And we're going to take you all to Vrindavan without ticket, no reservation, no security check, no mask. So just to put us in Braj mood, we have very nice song that was very dear to Srila Prabhupada. I think you all know. You can find on your devices. Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. So, first of all, you should put all your devices on silent. Otherwise, the babies have a habit of crying in the middle of the katha. And then you look for Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Moha. Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Moha. Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Madha. Kishikata Bhamsi Vata Vadasha Kana. Jasavalila Koilo Sinandananda. Srinandaya Sora Jaya Jaya Gopaga. Sri Damari Jaya Jaya Dinu Vatsaga. Jaya Vrisabhanu Jaya Kirtila Sundari. Jaya Vrisabhanu Jaya Kirtila Sundari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Jaya Abhira Nagari. Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagari. Jaya 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 Gopishvara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhattu Dvijara Krishna Saka Bhattu Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nanda Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Jata Vrindavana Vasi Jata Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga Pakite Jahara Pailo Govinda Chara Srivasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajeti Praja Sri Janava Pada Padma Gauriya Smara Pada Padma Deena Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopi Nada Varana Jai Vrindavan Dham, Jai Vrindavan Dham, Jai Vrindavan Dham, Jai Vrindavan Dham. Dham ki jai. Hare. No, keep it. No, keep it there. So this is a very beautiful song. Huh? And when we're outside of Vrindavan, we like to sing this song to remember Vrindavan. But when we're in Vrindavan and we're sitting under the beautiful kadamba trees and peepal trees and beautiful trees of Braj in a very peaceful place, and we sing this song, it's got a very, very special taste. Mm-hmm. But ordinarily we're outside, we sing this song, then it's just like slideshow coming in the heart. This was one of Prabhupada's very favorite bhajans. So here mentions Shamakunda, Radha Kunda. We know that in the early days, Prabhupada was selling his different medicines, and he would travel around. So one day he went to Agra, and he heard that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was on Brajmanda Prikrama, and they had come to Radhakund. So somehow he came from Agra to Radhakund to meet his spiritual master. And between Radhakund and Chamakund, that's called the Sangam. So on that path, they were walking, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta told Prabhupada, Ag Jwalbi, fire will start. He said, I wish that I would, everybody in, now they got this nice temple, Bhagavatar Gaudiya Mat. He said, everybody's fighting over what room is theirs and this and that. Better we sell all the marble and print books. Then he looked at Abhay Babu and he told him, if you ever get money, print books. So book distribution was born from Sri Radhakund. Sri Radhakund in Shangam, right in the Sangam. So this is the most sacred place for especially us as ISKCON devotees. Because this is, everybody's interested, I want to get Radha Bhav, real Radha Bhav. Just like the ordinary people, they come to Vrindavan and they sing Radhe Radhe Shyam Milade. Oh Radharani, meet me with Shyam. But this is sense gratification. Our Gaudiya Siddhantas, we want to make arrangement for Radharani to meet with Krishna. Just like we see all the manjaris and all our Goswamis, they're all manjaris. Their only business is how to make nice arrangements for Radha and Krishna to meet. And Radharani, she's always making arrangements for other gopis to meet with Krishna. So those who are going on book distribution, they're in the real Radha Bhav. They're going around and making more devotees to meet with Krishna. So this is the real Radha Bhav. Just like Gaudiya Vaishnavas have been there in Vrindavan for over 500 years. But when I came to Vrindavan, even very respectable, just like that they call him mayor, they call him chairperson of Vrindavan, Maganlal Sharma. Even he would say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a great bhakt. Nobody knew who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was really. After 500 years of, almost 500 years of devotees being there in Braj. Because they're all asleep. They're doing their so-called Siddha Pranali. It means to go to the Bandara, eat puri and sag, and go back to your bhajan gutir and chant the Zed mantra. You know the Zed mantra? But now we see Prabhupada has made Vrindavan famous all over the world. In fact, when they built Krishna Balaram temple, Prabhupada opened it, the villagers of Vrindavan, they said, why you built your temple so far away, so far out there? Who will go there? Now you can't even find a place to stand at Mangalarti. So, although it's a little bit of a problem, still I just feel Prabhupada up there in Golok Dham looking down, and He got the last laugh. They said, who will go there? Now you can't find place someday. Srila Prabhupada ki Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Dena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Davidam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Swaparam Tikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So now, healthy Bhakta Mike has come. Hare Krishna. So we thought this evening, in honor of Srimati Radharani, we go to Radhakund. It's 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to Vrindavan, and he did prikrama of all the forests of Vrindavan. He started from Madhuvan, he went to Talavan, then he went to Kumudvan, then he went to Bahulavan. And Chaitanya Charitamrita doesn't mention, it mentions that he comes to Bahulavan, but then there's beautiful descriptions of his walking through the forest and how all the deer and the does, they came to smell the wonderful body of Mahaprabhu, and the cows also came and they were sniffing the body of Mahaprabhu. In fact, the walls, they couldn't get their cows to come back. They are all following Mahaprabhu. So it just mentions that he came to Bahulavan, and then this wonderful description is there. So I assume this is description of Bahulavan, because next thing we know, he's headed towards Govardhan. And he was doing prikrama, not like you guys with the AC bus and taxi. He was going by his 2 feet with his hands raised in the sky and singing, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And completely lost from external consciousness. As they approached Govardhan, Balabhadra Bhattacharya was going along to assist Mahaprabhu. And he asked some villagers, there were some villagers, he said, what is the name of this village? And the villager said, this is Aritagram. As soon as the sound of Aritagram came in Mahaprabhu's ear, he returned to his external consciousness. And he began to ask everyone, where's Radhakund and Shyamakund? And nobody knew. Even Rajput Krishnadas, who was also accompanying him, he also didn't know, and the villagers didn't even know. Now, why hearing Aritagram did he mention, he asked about Radhakund and Shyamakund? Because the original name of this village was Aristagram, named after Aristasura, who was a great big demon who came in the form of a bull. So why hearing about Aristasura did Mahaprabhu think of Radhakund and Shyamakund? Because we heard that Radhakund and Chamakund is a very sweet Madhuri Ras place, and Aristasura was a huge evil demon. What happened was 5,000 years ago, on the Jiva Goswami explains on the Chaitra Purnima. Chaitra Purnima, Mahaprabhu came to Govardhan, to Vristagram. Well, of course, it wasn't known as Vristagram, but he came to that place at the end of Govardhan Hill. And he was getting all dressed up for doing rasa dance with the gopis. Prabhu says he was Natawar, a dancing actor, very beautiful kurta and beautiful sash and nice ankle bells and beautiful armlets and beautiful turban with peacock feather, just like a dancing actor. When he got the news that this Aristasura was terrorizing all the Brishvasis, you thought this terrorism was a new thing, huh? We never heard anything about it when we were a kid. But this has been going on for at least 5,000 years. This was Arista bin Laden. He was tearing up the Brishvasi houses with his horns. He was smashing the earth by his roaring. The cows and Brishvasinis were having miscarriages. He was so big, his tail was swatting the clouds here and there. And he took one look at Krishna. He dug the earth, he pointed his horns, and he came running, charging straight at Sri Krishna. And Krishna, to show that he wasn't at all perturbed, he put his hand on one of his friends, cowherd friends, like that. And this demon came charging. And in Extra Devotion, Prabhupada explains that one of Krishna's qualities is he's very expert. So he knows that the way to control a bull is by the horns. So Krishna immediately grabbed his horns and tossed him away. And the demon, he snorted, he got up, again he came charging. He was roaring very loud and tearing up the ground with his hooves as he was charging. And Krishna again grabbed him by the horns, swung him around and around and around, and just by the force of swinging him around, he was half dead. Then he just smashed him on the ground and stomped on him like a wet sponge. Ping, ping, ping. And passing stool and urine simultaneously, he went to the kingdom of death. So then Krishna told all the gopis, all right, now we can do ras. And Radharani Gopi said, Are, how we can be associated with you? You have done a big pop. You all know pop. Our Western way, you think I'm talking about Coca-Cola or 7-Up. Pop means sin. He said, what sin did I do? He said, you killed a bull. That is a big sin. He said, that wasn't a bull. That was a demon. He said, may have been in the form of a demon, but he was a bull. He said, but he was, he may have been in the form of a bull, but he was a demon. And then Rani said, well, we heard from Mother Purnamasi that one time Indra, he killed one demon, but he was a Brahmin. You remember Vritrasura. So Indra killed that demon and he got reaction. He may have been a demon, but he was a Brahmin. He got reaction. We read in Srimad Bhagavatam that old lady coughing blood, with tuberculosis, came chasing after Indra, and he had to hide for 1,000 years in the lake of lotuses. He got reaction. So Krishna, all right, what do I have to do to get free from this? So Radharani and all her Sakis, they consulted one another. then they said, you will have to take bath at all the sacred places of the universe. And Krishna said, Arey, that will take a long time. How I can be away from you girls for so long? I will call all the sacred places here in one place and take my bath. And Radharani Gopi said, oh, don't try to fool us with your magic, Shamsundar. We don't believe in your magic. And Krishna went over to the side there and he began to smash his right foot into the ground. And he made a very deep depression. And then he played on his flute, and all the sacred rivers and places in the universe came there. And Krishna told them, all right, you come forward and chant your name, or rather chant your mantra, give your introduction, chant your mantra, and pour your water in my kund. So everybody came, somebody came, I'm the saltwater ocean, I'm the Kaveri river, I'm the Sindhu river, I'm this place, I'm that place, I'm the ocean of milk, all the sacred places. Ganga came, all the sacred places of the universe came. And chanted their mantra and poured their, gave their introduction, chanted their mantra and poured their water in Krishna's kund. So this took a long time, almost to the midnight. So then Krishna took his bath. And then he told Radharani and all the Sakhis, now you come in the water and we'll enjoy Jalakili, water pastimes. And Radharani and the Sakhis said, Are, this water is contaminated with your sin. How we can come in this water? We're going to make our own kund. So on the side, there was a place where Aristasura had dug his hoof in the ground. There was a little depression. So Radharani took her golden bangle and broke it and began to dig. And all the Sakhis, they took their bangles and broke them and began to dig. So right in the middle of Radha Kund, way, way down, there's a little kund called Kankan Kund. Sometimes they say Kangan Kund, same thing. And we saw that twice. Once in, I believe it was 1989 maybe, or I can't remember, 87 maybe it was. They did the cleaning of Radha Kund. And I took a prikam. We just happened to come today that they had pumped all the water out. And we saw that Kankan Kund. So we went down, we hiked up our dhotis and our saris, and we were in mud up to our calves, and we circumambulated around and took some of that water from the Kankan Kund. And we went back to Krishna Balaram Mandir. We told everybody that you can get darshan of Kankan Kund. And devotees came the next day, and already they were finished pumping out the water and doing the cleaning, and already Kankan Kund was under the water again. So we just happened to come on that right day. Then I think it was again in 2010 maybe. They did the cleaning of Radha Kund. And again, we just happened to come at the right time. And there was people everywhere taking the mud out there. Big lines. You can go on YouTube and you can type Kangan Kund or Kankan Kund. And you can see the videos, big lines of people. One scooping in a bucket, another one passing to a next, and dumping it into a tractor trailer, and then all around. So we went down, and I saw these flags there. I didn't understand what the significance of those flags were. And everybody was yelling. And I thought, well, we're circumambulating the thing and we're interfering with their cleaning work or something. They were yelling at us. And then all of a sudden I stepped and whew, there was a big hole there. That's why the flags, and that's why they were all yelling. And they went all the way down this deep. And then I tried to pull my, there's nothing but mud to push on. Somehow I have one knee on the solid land, so I tried to pull my leg out. And it was just sucking it in further. Anyway, somehow or other, we managed to get our leg out and we finished our Prikama. Twice we saw the Kankan. So they made this beautiful kund. And Krishna came there and he said, your kund is very beautiful, but there's no water in it. And Radharani said, we're going to bring water from Manasi Ganga. Just in the middle of the town of Govardhan, you can find a big lake called Manasi Ganga. We'll have thousands of gopis coming and going and coming and going with silver and gold and water pots, and we're going to fill it with water from Manasi Ganga. Now Krishna, he doesn't like to see the gopis doing any work. He can't bear to see even a bead of perspiration come on Radharani's brow. So he signaled to all those sacred places, and they became one person. And they went over and they bowed before Srimati Radharani, and they began to praise her very greatly. But she was a little suspicious because she saw this guy was coming from Krishna's side. So she said, what do you want? He said, we thought that the perfection of life was to be associated with the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Because Krishna, when he bathed in all the sacred places, he became purified, right? Nyat. Nay. All the sacred places became purified because Krishna bathed them. But now, seeing your divine, wonderful qualities, we can understand that the real perfection of life is to be associated with your lotus feet. We want to come in your kund. And Radharani, she smiled at Sri Krishna and she shook her head. This always used to bewilder us the first time we came to India. You know, we would say something and people would shake their heads. That means no in America. But sometimes it does. It's just you have to know the bhav, you know. So then they broke a hole between Radhakund and Shamakund, and all the waters from Shamakund came into Radhakund. If you see the Sangam from the opposite side, then you can see between the stairways, there's a hole between. Actually, what happened was I was there with I guess it was the 1987 cleaning. Because underneath the stairs, there's a big open area, and it was all empty. So myself and a dear godbrother named Kripanidhi, who now lives in Mayapur, we were just running back and forth between Radhakund and Shamakund in that little passageway. I don't know if any other ISKCON devotees do. We were probably only two. So between the steps, you can see there's a place in between. This is where the waters of Shamakund came into Radhakund. And Krishna told Radharani, your kund is very beautiful, and I will always come and bathe in your kund. And Radharani said, and your kund is very beautiful, and we will always come and bathe in your kund. So in this way, although Radhakund and Shamakund are eternal, they have this wonderful pastime of appearance. Therefore, when Mahaprabhu heard that this is a Rittagram, he began to ask, where's Radhakund and Shamakund? But they were lost to the eyes of the world. They were lost to the eyes of the world. So he sat down at a place. There was a beautiful tamal tree. Unfortunately, it dried up. The place is still known as Tamal Tala, also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Betak. He sat there and he saw there was two paddy fields there. One was called Kali and one was called Gauri. And he could understand that paddy field called Kali, that was Shamakund. And that paddy field called Gauri, that was Radhakund. And he went down, and whatever water, you can see the beautiful dioramas there. Mahaprabhu took that water, and he began to chant very many beautiful prayers. And now, this Chaitanya Charitamrita has been translated into every language. So in your own language, you can learn these wonderful prayers. Saba Gopi Haite Radha Krishna Priyase, Taite Radha Kunda Priya Priya Rasarase. Saba Gopi Haite Radha Krishna Priyase. Of all the gopis, Radharani is very dear to Krishna. Taite Radha Kunda Kunda Priya Rasarase. Same way, this Kund known as Radha Kund is just as dear to Krishna as Radha. From Padma Puran. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Stasya Kundam Priyam Tata Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnu Ratyanta Ballava. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu, just as Radha is very dear to Krishna, Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata, and this Kund is just as dear to Krishna as Radha. Sarva Gopishu, Sarva we know means all, of all the gopis, Sarva Gopishu Saivaika. There's one, Vishnu Atyanta Ballava. When we want to say the supermost of anything, then we say Atyant. And Ballava means beloved. So most belovedest. There's one who's most belovedest of Krishna. He Kunde Nitya Krishna Radhika Rasange Jale Jala Keli Kori Tire Rasarange. Krishna's Kaviraj, his Chaitanya Charitamrita is so sweet. Even Hindi wala can understand this verse. You listen carefully. And it's remarkable in Bengali literature. There's nothing like it. If you study Bengali literature, you have to study Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even the Karmis, they study Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because it's very, very beautiful language, but all the deep truths of Vedic philosophy are contained. Ordinarily, when you're writing something beautiful, you make a big flowery language, and it's very difficult to talk about philosophy. And if you talk philosophy, you use big words, and everyone goes to sleep. But Chaitanya is generally very simple language and deep philosophy at the same time. It says, E Kunde Nitya Krishna, always Krishna, Radhikara Sangi, in the Sangha of Radharani, Radhikara Sangi, Jale. Of course, we say pani. That's the first word our Western devotees learn in Hindi. Jale, in Bengal we say jal. Jale means in the water. Jale, jale, Ekunde Nitya Krishna Radhikara Sang, Jale Kela Kori. Jalakeli Kori. Jalakeli Kori. They're doing water pastimes. Or Tire, we all know Tira. Rasa Rangi. They're doing ras on the Tire, on the banks. What's the other one? Radha Sama Prema Krishna. Say ek bara kor. Say ek bara. Ek kunde. Say kunde. Ek kunde. Say ek bara kori snana. Thanna Radha Sama Prema Krishna Kori Dana. That ek kunde. In this kun, say somebody ek bar kori snan. You can understand. Somebody one time takes his bath. Tanda Radha Sama Prema. We know this word Sama, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's Samoham Sarvabhuteshu. I'm equal to everyone. Radha Sama Prema, that prema equal to Radharani's prema. Krishna Kore Dana, Krishna's giving in charity. When you go to Radhakund, then so many pandas will come to take charity from you. But Krishna, he's giving charity. What charity? Radha Sama Prema, that charity equal to that. Prem equal to Srimati Radharani's prem. Ek bar kore snan. Tana Radha Sama Prema Krishna Kore Dana. Kundarama Duri Yena Radha Rama Rima. Kundarama Hima Yena Radha Rama Hima. This Kund is just as glorious as the glories of Srimati Radharani. And this Kund, the sweetness of this Kund is just as sweet as the Madhurima, the sweetness of Srimati Radhika. So chanting all of these prayers, Mahaprabhu took his bath in this paddy field. All the Brishvasis were astounded. What is he doing? And then with the mud from the sides, banks of that paddy field, he marked his body with Radhakund Tila. And he thus revealed Radhakund before the eyes of the world. Sri Radhakund Shamakund ki. So this was the appearance of Radhakund and Shamakund. And Jiva Goswami explains that it was on the Chaitra Purnima. Everybody says that it's the Bahulastami day. But Bahulastami, you see, if you go to Radhakund at midnight in Bahulastami, you see all the villagers come throwing peta, this special squash, They're throwing peta because they're all hoping that their wife will get a baby in the pit. So there's some Ahoy Devi, there's some demigoddess there, Ahoy Devi, that they're performing this midnight ritual for to get a child. So somehow that's become all mixed up with the Vaishnava tradition, and everybody thinks that. And if you go there, the last time I went, many, many years ago, it took us almost an hour to get down to the Kund. There was such a crowd. In the old days, we used to go and we'd do Harinam. I take 100 devotees and do Harinam, sometimes 150. I think the largest group we ever took was like 300 devotees, 6 buses. And we did Harinam 3 times around Radhakund and Shamakund. That's how, there wasn't any crowd those days. And then we find a nice place on the bank and sit there, wait till midnight, and take our bath in the Kund. But some devotees have done some research, and they found, Jiva Goswami says it's on the Chaitra Purnima. First there's Gaur Purnima, next one is Chaitra Purnima. The Falgun Purnima, then Chaitra Purnima. And if you go on that night, there's no crowd, it's very peacefully. Because the old days, we very peacefully took bath. The last time I went, was just so much crowd and pushing and shoving. No way you could go around 3 times and do Harinam. It's impossible. So somehow this Bahulastami became mixed up. Because it says, in the Padma Puran, there's a verse that says, if anyone takes his bath on the Astami day of Kartik, that he becomes very, Radharani is very pleased with him. So it doesn't say anything about midnight. It just says on that particular titi, Balastami titi, the first Astami of Kartik, if you take your bath in Radhakund, it's very special. So somehow these 2 things got all mixed up, and everybody thinks that that's the appearance, but the actual appearance is Chaitra Purnima. And you can go very peacefully like we did in the old days. So nearby, there's the original Bhajan Kutir. Because Raghunath Das Goswami, after Mahaprabhu left this world, he decided he was going to go to Braj, climb on top of Govardhan Hill, and throw himself down head first and die. He couldn't tolerate the separation. So he came to Braj to do that. Somehow, Rupa and Sanatana found out, and Sanatana Goswami said, no, this is not a good idea. I also wanted to jump under the Rath Yatra cart. And Sanatana didn't tell anybody. He didn't say a word to anybody. He just made this plan. Because he had sores all over his body, and Mahaprabhu would embrace him, and all this pus and blood would come on Mahaprabhu's body. He couldn't stop him, no matter how many times. He just decided to give up his body. So Mahaprabhu came one day and said, Sanatan, this body belongs to me, not to you. You have no right to take it. I have many things to do in this world through your body. And he hadn't told anybody about his plan, but Mahaprabhu, he's in everyone's heart. He knows everything, so he knew. Somehow they convinced Raghunath Das not to do this, so he decided to stay. Most of the time he spent in Braj at Radhakund, he was right on the banks of Shamakund, he was staying. And he was doing his bhajan there. And Sanatana Goswami was staying. There's a beautiful place in Manasi Ganga called Chakleshwar. And just there you'll find Sanatana Goswami's bhajan kutir there. So he would sometimes come to visit Raghunath Das. So one day he came and he saw Raghunath Das was sitting. At the time there was no kuti or anything. He was just sitting and chanting, and he's just not paying attention to anything. And tiger and tigress came to drink water in Shamakund. And Sanatana Goswami came and he looked down and he saw this scene. And he saw that Krishna was standing there, some effulgence was coming from his hand to protect Raghunath from the tiger and tigress. And then the tiger and tigress went away, and Krishna saw Sanatana Goswami, he smiled and disappeared. Then Sanatana Goswami came. What kind of bhajan are you doing? You're chanting Hare Krishna, the Krishna let me serve you. And you're taking service, you don't pay any attention. Tiger and tigress has come. Krishna was standing there to guard you. You're taking service. So he fell on Sanatana's feet. He said, I'll be more careful in the future. So another time, it was summertime. Summertime means sometimes it goes up to 50 degrees. Many stays around 45, but sometimes up to 50. And Raghunath Das was chanting. Oh, both the pictures are there. And you see, Radharani was, he wasn't paying any attention. They say only mad dogs and Englishmen go in the noonday sun. But he's there in the noonday sun chanting, and Radharani has come, and with her veil, she's covering, giving shade to Raghunath Das Goswami. And you see Sanatana Goswami has again come from Manasi Ganga, and he saw this whole scene, and he saw, because she's holding her veil like this, you can see her choli is all wet, she's sweating and sweating, and she smiled at Sanatana Goswami and disappeared. And again, Sanatana Goswami, he's the eldest of all the Goswamis, so he can chastise. He came there. He said, what nonsense is this? What type of nonsense bhajan you're doing? You're chanting Hare Krishna, the Radha Krishna let me serve. You don't pay any attention. It's noonday sun. Radharani has to come and shade you. You're taking service from Radharani, not giving service. You just see, because he saw that she was sweating and sweating when Raghunath saw that the dust had become muddy, and there was the lotus footprints of Srimati Radhika. Yeah, let's send it around. You can see both pictures. You see the tiger and tigress is there, and Radharani also there. He said, if you can't take care of yourself properly, then you make a bhajan kutir and you do your kirtan, you do your bhajan inside a kutir. If you can't take care of yourself properly. So this bhajan kutir system was started from Radhakund, at Raghunath Das's bhajan kutir. And Raghunath Das's bhajan is just like lines on a rock. Just like if you see lines on a rock, you can rub and rub and rub and scrape, those lines don't change. So Raghunath Das's vows were like that. They don't change, like lines on a rock. And he was chanting 3 lakhs of names. And somehow or other, he was just taking a little bit of chach. When we're on Braj Prikama, we're begging for chach. He just took a little leaf cup full of chach, little dona. So there was he had one servant named Biharidas, and Biharidas became very worried that he's just taking this little bit of chach. How is he going to survive? So Biharidas was on Prikama one day. He came to Sakistali, and he saw the same tree from which they make the donas, but it was with great big leaves. So he made this big leaf cup, big dona, and he filled it with chach, and he came the next morning to Raghunath Das. And Raghunath Das saw this dona, and he was just looking at it with great curiosity. He's so surprised to see such big dona. Just like one time in LA, we gave Prabhupada a special umbrella. You push the little button and it goes boop, boop. It's all like this big. You push the button and it goes boop, boop, and opens up. So Prabhupada, just like a little child, he was boop, boop, and then pushing it into the ground and boop, boop, and just so curiously looking at this, like, so that's what Raghunath is looking with great curiosity. He said, Haridas, where you got this dona? Well, yesterday I was in Sakisali. Sakisali? That's the village of Chandravali. He threw that leaf cup. He said, don't you ever bring anything from Sakisali, or I will fast completely and leave my body. Because Raghunath Das, he was the Ananya Bhakt of Srimati Radharani. Nobody writes the poems about Radharani like Raghunath Das. He describes in one of his poems, he says, Karunaya Vidravad Raha. Deha. Karunaya Vidravad Deha. So we know Karuna means compassion. So when Sanskrit, when we make it Karunaya, means from compassion, by compassion. And Vidravad, we know, means to be melt. And Deha, we know, Gopal Bhatt, you know that verse in Bhagavad Gita? Deha, Dehi anosmin, you know that verse? You don't know? Anyone know? You know? Dehi anosmin yata dehi. Huh? You know? You know, Keshav? What's that verse? Huh? All right. Dehinosmin yata dehe ko maram jovanam jara tatara dehantara prapti dira tatra namuyate. So deha means body. Dehi means who lives in the body. So karunaya vidrava deha. Ordinary people, their hearts melt with compassion, but Radharani, her whole body melts with compassion. Radharani's whole body melts with compassion. And Prabhupada has caught all those drops of melted compassion and put them inside his books. And the devotees are going all over the world and sprinkling Radharani's compassion on all the fallen souls. And he describes the tinkle of Radharani's ankle bells is just like a spray, not a spray, mist of tiny, tiny nectar droplets is being sprayed on all beings moving and non-moving as she walks. Ching, 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 ching. Little Amrit Bindus are falling on all beings moving and non-moving. Ching, ching. This is our Raghunath Das Goswami. And what's another story? Somebody wanted to give a donation. Oh, yes. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was thinking that in the future, people are going to come from all over India, even from Mumbai, even from South, from Kerala, from Karnataka, from Tamil Nadu. What to speak of all over India? All over the world, people come from Germany, from France, from America, from Japan, from Indonesia, from Russia, from Ukraine, from so many places, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. In the old days, it was just Hindustan and Pakistan. Now there's so many. Soviet Union broke up, and suddenly there's Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, Baluchistan. All these stans appear. So they can come from all these places and take bath. There's no proper gas, there's no ghats, there's no proper facilities. So then Raghunath Das, he thought, if I got some money, I would fix up the kunds. Then he thought, just see, again I'm thinking about money, because we know that Raghunath Das, he had opulence greater than the king of heaven. You've read that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He thought, again I'm thinking about money. So he took Mohan Vrat, he became very quiet. Meanwhile, some Bengali businessman, he went to Badrinath to offer a big donation for Lord Badrinath. In dream, Lord Badrinath came to him and said, don't offer that donation here. You go to Vrindavan and you find out Radhakund. In Radhakund, you find out Raghunath Das Goswami and you give that donation to him. So somehow or other, because those days there wasn't Indigo Airlines that he could fly to Delhi and then get a taxi to Calcutta. Somehow he managed to come, and even there was a train. Somehow he got to Vrindavan. From Vrindavan, there's no question of going by taxi to Radhakund. Somehow he came to Radhakund. He found out Raghunath Das Goswami, and he said, "I have a big donation for you." And Raghunath Das said, "Wherever you came from, you take that donation and go back." Not like us. As soon as we hear that there's a big donation, yeah, give it here, give it here. But he was showing that we may take donation, but we should use it only for Krishna's service. And the Badrinath had told him, Raghunath won't accept your donation. And you tell him, Lord knows your desire to fix the quins. And he said, so Lord knows your desire to fix the quins. Then he said, all right, give it here. You should only collect donations for Krishna's seva. So then he instructed that man to get some people, and they made nice ghats, and they dug out all the kunds and the cleaning and made nice ghats for everyone. So this is we're deeply indebted to our Raghunath Das Goswami. So what time is it? What time do we go to? Where's our Mahapati? All right. Yeah. Ma Janava also came on Prikama of Braj, and she was very anxious because she met with Rupa and Sanatan and all. And they told her that Raghunath Das is there in Radhakund, but he's very old. He can't come to Vrindavan. So Ma Janava went there, and she met Raghunath Das, and she was exceedingly happy. And she stayed there for some time. There was a special place on the bank of the Kund where she used to take her bath. So the devotees, they made a private bathing ghat. If you go, there's one, it's called Gopinath Temple. You go to Gopinath Temple, you take darshan, and you go out the side door, and you see this little area jutting out into the Kund. And you'll see there's the sitting place of Ma Janava. She sat under that tree doing her bhajan. And then you go around, there's a tamal tree there and a bakul tree. I think bakul tree is dried up, but the tamal tree is still there. You go around and there's some steps down. That is Ma Janava's private bathing ghat that the Vaishnavas made for her so she could bathe in private. And there's one Baba, he's from Philippines, named Parmanand Baba, from Philippines. He's a very dear friend of mine. He managed to collect some donations because it was all just not very nice. So he made a beautiful bhajan, sitting place for Ma Janava Beta, and he put nice carved stone railings all around everything, and nice stone floors and everything. And everything he fixed up very, very nicely. And he managed to put a plaque there that this renovation was done by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And Radhakund, Bhavas and Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, they have their things. So it was very difficult, but he was very, very clever. Somehow he got permission. Bhaktisiddhanta, and he says Bhaktisiddhanta's name, his disciple, through the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the funds have come to do this renovation. The black marble plaque with gold letters that he got put there. He's done many other. He's fixing up the sitting place of Mahaprabhu. Beautiful dioramas. Just there were paintings there. Beautiful dioramas are there. Now Mahaprabhu's lotus feet are there, and so beautiful deity of Mahaprabhu is there, doing all kinds of things. And the reason that there's a Gopinath temple there by that ghat is because Ma Janava was sitting there at that place doing her bhajan, and Gopinath appeared to her, gave her darshan there. So they made a little Gopinath mandir there. And in the back of the temple, there's a little marble dome. That's Raghunath Das Goswami's actual Samadhi mandir. And for last, I think 50 years or so, a Khand Kirtan is going. And you go there, and there's a little Prikrama path, and there's some Babas sitting there doing Kirtan. And you can give some donation, and then you can see this, a similar painting to this inside the budget, the Samadhi Mandir. This is the actual budget. Samadhi Mandir of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And a very beautiful Gopinath temple. And the Babajis of Brishvazi, somehow they won't let you take photos in their temples, but the Babajis have no problem. You can take all the photos of Gopinath that you want. And we were thinking something else. No, Jiva Goswami. Oh, that's the one thing I forgot to tell about Jiva Goswami. Because Ma Janava, when she came to Braj, she met Jiva Goswami. And she suggested to him that we put, because we were just singing, Govinda Gopinath, Madhada Mohan. So all the Gopinath, Madhad Mohan, Govinda Dev, they were all there, but there was no Radharani. So she suggested that you get Radharanis and put them beside all the deities. Because these professional bhajan singers, they have some story they always tell how Mirabai came to Radhakund and she met Jiva Goswami. Well, she wanted to meet Jiva Goswami, and Jiva Goswami said that I don't meet with any women. And Mirabai sent back the reply, I didn't know that there was any other man in Vrindavan, in Radhakund except Krishna. So this is totally bogus because Ma Janava came. He not only met with Ma Janava, he even accepted her suggestion that we put Radharani with all the deities. So this is a completely bogus story that professional bhajan singers, they always tell. That was the other thing that I forgot this morning. It's Jiva Goswami's appearance day today. Behind Raghunath Das, now, and also Paramananda Baba, he fixed up that place. He's, put nice pillars and a huge roof over it. We were always just sitting in the sun. He's made a very beautiful place there and fixed up. Also, Vishwanath Chakravarti's Bhajan Kutir is there. First, you'll see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's, and that ghat has two names. One is Manasa Pavana Ghat, because we heard Radharani said, we will always come and take bath in your kund. So at noontime, Radharani and all the Sakhis come and they bathe just outside Raghunath Das's Bhajan Kutir on the Manasa Pavana Ghat. It's also known as a Pancha Pandav Ghat, because we heard Raghunath Das wanted to fix up the kunds. So you see that Radhakund is completely rectangular, very straight. Because our Radharani, she's very seedy. Seedy sari, saral. This Krishna, you see, Shamakund is crooked. Because our Krishna, he's a very crooked fellow. Because just like, don't do this, but since you live here on the beach, you see people catching the fish. They have a hook to catch the fish, and it's got a little thing like that. So that hook, it will go in very easily, but then you can't get it out. So our Krishna, he's very crooked. He will go into your heart very easily, but then you will never get him out. So he saw there were some trees in the way of making Shamakun rectangular, even. So he marked those trees and told the people who are doing the work that you uh, uh, cut these trees down so we can make it straight. So that night, Yudhishthira Maharaj came in his dream. He said, myself, Bhim, Sahadev, Arjun, Nakula, we're all doing bhajan here on the banks of Radhakund. You please don't cut us. In the morning, you'll recognize. So in the morning, when Raghunath Das came there, then he recognized. And all the Babas told me that on Manasa Pavangat, you'll see this just before my very eyes. I watched this huge old neem tree dry up. So he's dried up. They all told me that was the last of the Panchapandavas. That was Bhim. So even he's dried up now, and all the other trees are no longer visible. Therefore, Shamakun was made in a crooked way, and it's because that God is also known as Panchapandav God. Mm-hmm. Then behind that, we find the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, where he wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita. We were just glorifying Chaitanya Charitamrita. So just behind Raghunath Das's Bhajan Kutir, there's a Bhajan Kutir of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. It used to be just dirty place, all filled with cobwebs and broken down and everything. There was some old Baba there, Jaini Thai Baba, but he was very, very old. Now some nice Babas come there, named Narottam, and somebody decided he wanted to do fix up that Bhajan Kutir. He doesn't want his name known. So he approached Narottam, and they fixed it all up, and all nice marble and everything, and fixed it up very nicely and clean and everything, and made a nice altar. And, they wanted, there's one Baba nearby, he was an artist, and he'd painted a picture of Krishnadas Kaviraj writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there's even a monkey up in a tree, looking at him, a peacock there dancing. So they wanted to make a copy of that painting for the Bhajan Kutir. So they approached me, that if one of your ISKCON artists can do that. At that time, there was a nice lady named Archa Vigraha, who's Giriraj Maharaj's disciple, and she's one of the few people who's not Indian from South Africa. She's actually, what do they call the people? I can't remember the name. They have some name they're from Dutch descent. So and she was a very famous artist in South Africa. And when she got cancer, she came to Braj to leave her body. And one of the last services she did was to she made a copy of that painting. Now, if you see the original painting, you see that painting, because every artist has got his own style, But she has copied, you see it at 1-to-1, exactly the style of that Baba. And this beautiful painting is there now. And somebody has donated a nice cot for Krishnas to sleep in the night. And our Narottam says, now I'm getting very old, just like me. We grew old together. So he's anxious if anybody wants to take over the Bhajan Kutir of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He's begging me to find someone. So if anyone's interested to apply for the job, you can see me later. And there was some money left over, and they fixed up Jiva Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, and they put that famous painting of Jiva Goswami sitting on his knees. She made a copy of that, and they put that there, Jiva Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, right around the corner. Well, the picture must be there, huh? Is the picture there, Krishnadas Kaviraj? Okay. There you can see the painting. The Krishna Das, he's sitting there under the tree. He's a monkey is there watching him. And where's the peacock? Probably just outside here. And some deer are there. And he doesn't have an iPod, he has a leaf pod. He's writing Chaitanya Charitamrita. And if you go there and you give a donation of 50 rupees, Nartam will give you a copy of this painting, get a photo of this painting. So anyway, I think we should put our voice to rest. It's working day tomorrow for everyone. So if anybody has any questions, we can try to answer them.
Before that, there's a new book that Radha has come up with. Whatever you heard of Radha Kund, just know that it's the tip of the iceberg. Because we keep hearing just this much about Chandravali. Can you tell us a little more about Chandravali? Why was she a rival of Radharani?
Because they both want Krishna to stay with them. But Chandravali, we know Radharani, she's a little feisty. She's we say Bama, she's left winger. But Chandravali, she's very mild. She never scolds Krishna. She never, even sometimes, just like at Sanket, there's a special place where sometimes Krishna meets Chandravali and he's sitting there and he's saying, "Hey, Radhe." And she's just so angry, but she never shows it. And her husband is Govardhan Mala, who has so many cows. And she's also expansion of Radharani. Radharani just expands herself because Prabhupada said variety is the mother of enjoyment. So Krishna can enjoy all varieties of rasas. So she's also, we shouldn't think bad about her. She's also there to please Krishna. And her place is just near Govardhan, just leaving Govardhan, you'll see the Shamsham. Just near the Shamsham, you'll find a kund is there, that's Sakhi Kund, and that area is called Sakhi Stali, and that is where Chandravali stays.
The difference in the moves is it? Can we compare it to like Muni and Satyabhama?
Yeah, no, because in Lita Madhav, then Rupa Goswami explains how Satyabhama became Radharani, because we know Satyabhama, she's a little hot-tempered, and Rukmini, in Vrindavan, we just went for a whole month reading all about Rukmini and Krishna and how he's saying, "Oh, you should have married Sisupal. I am only beggars worship me, and I'm just a useless guy." And she never said a word until she finally faded. So she's Chandravali. And the nice verse is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Tara Madhye, between these two, Chandravali and Krishna, Radharani is the Shrest. She's the best.
Does Chandravali also consider Radharani her rival?
Of course. They're always, you read all the pastimes, you read this book, you'll see they're always trying to misguide the Chandravali Sakis, that Krishna went that way. And Chandravali is also trying to misguide them. That all these funny stories are there.
Baba, you mentioned Radha Kund and Shyam Kund are eternal. So are they present in the hologram Vrindavan in this picture?
Of course.
Yes, he has a question. You mentioned about Brajabhav, where everybody wants to give Krishna to others. So, how do we understand this and how do we learn this?
Well, the best way to understand this is to Uh, only way we can understand anything is by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And we have to follow in the footsteps of the Brajavasis. Over and over again we hear this. But we have the best Brajavasi to follow, Srila Prabhupada. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that that person who explains this science to the devotees, uh, he's most dear to me, and never will there be one more dear. So Prabhupada has spread Krishna's message all over the whole planet. So there's no Brajavasi more dear than Srila Prabhupada. So if we just follow him, then certainly we'll be able to enter into these. We should think that maybe in 50,000 lifetimes, maybe I'll understand all these things. Huh? And that attitude, we should never think that, oh, I'm a great devotee. Mm-hmm. Our only qualification is through the Prabhupada. Just like we mentioned Madan Mohan, Govinda Gopinathan Madan Mohan. Sanatana Goswami was offering these old dry chapati balls. Because that time Vrindavan was just a forest, and there was just maybe a few tribals there or something. You get some atta, you mix it with jamuna, and get some cow dung, and set it on fire, and put the atta ball in the middle of the cow dung, and you take a stick and move it around, and break off all the black spots, and offer it to Madan Mohan. And Prabhupada said, Madan Mohan began to complain. Are, every day you give me this old dry chapati ball. You don't even give any salt or anything. And Prabhupada Sanatana Goswami said, look, whatever I get, I offer to you. If you're not satisfied, the same thing like Bali Maharaj, if you're not satisfied with easily gotten, then you'll never be satisfied in life. You have to learn to control your senses. Of course, we can't imitate these dealings of the Lord and his pure devotees. So Prabhupada said, because Sanatana Goswami is offering with love, he had to eat these old dry chapati balls with no salt. And he accepted them. So the same way, we're all thinking, oh, I'm a big life membership preacher. I collect so much. I'm a big Sankirtan devotee. I distribute so many books. I'm the best pujari. I'm this. Our seva is just an old dry chapati ball with no salt. But you see all of Prabhupada's letters, he writes, I'm always praying to Krishna for you young boys and girls to advance in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada's taking our old dry chapati ball service and offering to Krishna, and Krishna is accepting.
Hmm. As many times we hear you are always in the relishment of considering the pastime of the Lord. So I was thinking that whatever we read and it goes downstep, and it is your mercy that we are getting the association of devotees with Vaishnavas. How we can develop this move that whenever we are reading about or hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, we can get that kind of relishment which is ever increasing.
We just have to keep practicing. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, he asked Krishna, what is it that, he said, to control the mind, he said, it's easier to control the wind, and we know nobody can control the wind. And what does Krishna say? Abhyas. By practice, by practice. And the Brajvasis, they have a saying in Braj, the kara kara kabhyase, jarmate hota sajan, rasari avata javate shilpar pari nishan. Because sometimes we go in Braj, there's no question of running water, not even a hand pump, there's just a well. And on the well, there's all these rocks, stones, shilas are there, with some lines cut in them. And nobody came with a hammer and chisel and carved those lines. Rasari avata javata, that rope is cutting it. Now, if I tell you you have to cut a stone with a rope, you'll say you're crazy. And that rope is going in the water, he's becoming even more soft. But avata javata, coming and going, Same way, our heart is like a stone. We don't hear these things. We fall asleep in Bhagavatam class. But just go on. Avata javata, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Even the stone-like heart will be cut.
There was one question that at times when we are with the devotees, we are approaching the temple every now, every weekly basis. It's a very transcendental atmosphere. We come in touch with devotees, we keep reading books. But like suppose there are times like in my job and something where we don't get chance to be in touch with the temple, neither with the devotees, nor in India also, like we traveling. So what is the best way and easiest way to like be in Krishna consciousness? Along with japa, is there anything more we can do when we are completely isolated from the association and things like that?
Somebody also complained to Prabhu that I'm in charge of construction. My mind is always thinking about this supplier, that supplier. And Prabhu said, it is Krishna's service. Do you think Arjuna was on the battlefield thinking, oh, Krishna's in the Rasa? This is the science, how even your work becomes, Krishna becomes yoga. Because we're working hard, we're making money, we use some of that money to help spread Krishna consciousness. So even our work becomes yoga. Even if you're not thinking about Krishna, Krishna's not forgetting you. Well, I answer that in my book. From the older devotees who were in, because I didn't come to stay in Vrindavan until 1984, but those many devotees are there from 72 and onwards. They told me how Prabhupada took them all around on Prikama. And one day he took the devotees to Radhakund. And he pointed with his cane, this is Radhakund. And the devotees went completely bananas. They just ripped off their cloth, put on their gamsas, and jumped in the water. They even forgot their bodies. It was just Prabhupada. Only thing Prabhupada did with his cane was he tried to move the ladies on one side, and because they forgot their bodies also. They didn't think, So Prabhupada made all the ladies go on one side and all the gents go on the other side. He didn't say a thing. Later, especially as Westerners, we're very frivolous. So we would go to Radhakund and perform cannonballs and double flips and back flips. And there was one fellow named Poste Leon. He was looking for the fountain of youth, but all the kunds of Braj are fountains of youth. All the devotees become like little children. So anyway, when Prabhupada heard, then he became very angry. You're jumping on Radharani like that. So then he told, you don't go, you just take some water on your heads. Then in 1977, I was looking through did a lot of research in the database. Okay. I did a lot of research on this question in the database. In the room conversation of November 10th, 1977, I found an interesting dialogue. His Holiness Lokanath Swami said, tomorrow is Govardhan Puja festival. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, we are in Vrindavan. We shall not take part? We must take part. Then everyone offered different proposals. Eventually it was decided that the assembled devotees would go on Prikama of Govardhan. Srila Prabhupada wanted to go as well. Devotees started discussing the possibility how they can fulfill Prabhupada's desire. Prabhupada wanted to lie down on a bullock cart and do the Prikama. Since Prabhupada's health was intensely frail, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami began expressing his anxiety over this idea. He requested to Prabhupada that the Kaviraj doctor was also in great anxiety and not sleeping properly. Kaviraj suggested that when he was physically stronger, then he could take the journey. Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji, also suggested to Prabhupada not to go, as his health may further deteriorate due to the jerking and bad roads. When Prabhupada realized that the disciples and well-wishers were in anxiety regarding this situation, he agreed not to go. Prabhupada told his disciple, all right, you take Babaji Maharaj. That will be my going. You take Kinchani Krishnadas Babaji, that is my going. Then Tamal Krishna said, the bullock cart will go tomorrow to Govardhan. Prabhupada lamented, yes, other devotees can go. I cannot go. Tamal Krishna said, no, they'll go on your behalf. Srila Prabhupada told a Kinchana Krishna's Babaji in Bengali. This was only later found out in the database. Babaji Maharaj, do you see how much they all love me? And Krishna Krishnadas laughed and said in Bengali, yes, I can see. It is so wonderful. We have a lot to learn from them. Then Prabhupada declared, so you will take bath in Radhakund on my behalf. So that's my version of the final order. The final order is you go take bath in Radhakund on my behalf. So the final order is that you can take bath on Prabhupada's behalf. But don't jump. Some devotees are very fanatic. They go in head first. They crawl into with. But first you put some on your head, then you put your feet. But some devotees are so fanatic they crawl into Radhakund. So, very reverently and very peacefully you take your bath. Yeah, so we do. I was thinking Jamastami song. What do you want, Jamastami song or Dauji song?
Janmashtami, how to do Dauji, how to do. Janmashtami, how many want? Okay, how many want Dauji ka bhaiya Krishna ka nahi?
Oh, the big brother one. Okay. Huh? Nandagara Nandabayo Jai Kanil. Yeah. Par karenge naiya de bajo Krishna kanaiya. Everyone dance. Par karenge naiya de bajo Krishna kanaiya. Krishna kanaiya. Dauji Kavaiya, Krishna Kanaiya, Dauji Kavaiya, Krishna Kanaiya, Dauji Kavaiya, Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna Kanaiya. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna kanaiya. Krishna kanaiya, Dauji kavaiya. Krishna kanaiya, Dauji kavaiya. Bandhu Vajaya, Bandhu Vajaya, Makana Churaya, Makana Churaya, Girivarudaya, Girivarudaya, Rasa Rajaya, Radha Rajaya, Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna kanaiya. Par karenge naiya re bajo Krishna kanaiya. Krishna kanaiya, Dauji kavaiya. Krishna kanaiya, Dauji kavaiya. Bandhu Vajaya, Bandhu Vajaya, Girivarudaya, Girivarudaya. Kaiya Charaiya, Kaiya. No, one more. Makana Charaiya, Makana Charaiya, Makana Charaiya, Radha Rajaya, Radha Rajaya. Par karenge naiya re Bandhu Krishna par karenge naiya re Bandhu Krishna Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Hatini Goradini Ordini Palki Hatini Goradini Ordini Palki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Hatini Goradini Ordini Palki Hatini Goradini Ordini Palki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jawan ko hati gore Murin ko palki Jawan ko hati gore Murin ko palki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki 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 Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jawan ko hati gore Murin ko palki Jawan ko hati gore Murin ko palki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Hati Dini Gora Dini or Dini Palki. Hati Dini Gora Dini or Dini Palki. Nandagara Nandalaya Jai Kaniya Lal. Oh, Nandagara Nandalaya Jai Kaniya Lal. Joanin ko hati gore, munin ko palki. Joanin ko hati gore, munin ko palki. Nandagara Nandalaya Jai Kaniya Lal. Nandagara Nandalaya Jai Kaniya Lal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Nitai Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Hari Go, Jaya Jaya Prabhu Jaya Jaya Bolo Sri Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki. Revealer of the Holy Dham, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Yay, yay, Sri Radha.